How how are some of the ways you guys have changed and adapted the technology as 3D has grown a little bit over the past couple of years?
We're pretty much camera agnostic. We build these very complex robotic motion control systems called 3D rigs. But they are very complex motion control systems. You know, there's 12 motors in them. They're working under command of a computer, master controller. We also, that's a one side. Our primary business, though, is really the software, the algorithm, the image processing to make the images better and actually perfect out of the camera, so that post-production could actually be a creative process, not a technical fix-it process, or we could do live broadcast. But we don't compete with the Sonys and the Panasonics or the Grass Valleys of the world, or the Reds, or the Aries, because they're heavily funded big companies. We're not going to start a camera development project. So we've always made ourselves accessible, or our equipment, so that we could go use a Sony or a Panasonic or a Grass Valley or a Red or an Alexa, any camera. So as the digital technologies change, I won't say it's irrelevant to us, but we're agnostic to it. We can adapt as well, because our basic software is looking at two stereo images to make them better. And it doesn't care what camera those images come out of. It needs two stereo images, and then it can do its fix and adjustments.
Do you also have some optics specialists that are working with you to have such an understanding of the vision and how the fractions of camera movement and focus really affect the comfort level of someone watching 3D?
We don't build lenses, so we don't have optics specialists in that sense. But we have a number of PhDs who are very, very well versed in optics and understand how light is transmitted through glass and lenses. With that said, it doesn't take an engineering degree to know that if you have a pixel of vertical shift, it's not comfortable. And that for us, that's measurable. For everybody else, they stick their nose on a monitor and look and see if they're a pixel or two off. I've seen people with loops on screens looking, and yeah, that's crazy. That's going back to the Stone Age. We have scopes. You know, the image processor has built-in scopes and analysis tools that will tell you if you're a sub-pixel out of alignment. So we have people who understand optics, but all of our people, whether they're engineers or not, understand that you need to adjust it until that number reads 0, 0, 0 point. Any digit after that is sub-pixel. And obviously is not as relevant. I've gone to the theater and seen movies up to 10 pixels out of alignment. We're concerned if it's a half pixel out.
Right.
So if we're under 1 pixel, we're good. It's a clean image.
Something that's very interesting in the whole 3D world in regards to rigging is the immense weight of rigging. What are you guys doing to kind of to make changes for that, to make it more convenient, especially when you're working on an action movie? I know the rigging has become a bit of an issue that sometimes impedes doing action and stunts.
We were just down shooting in New Zealand with Peter Jackson, who's purchased a lot of 3ALITY gear because he's going to shoot all his movies with 3ALITY gear, and he's going to shoot all his movies in 3D. While we were down there shooting, we had a camera rig that was as controllable as the ones I've described, completely remote controlled, metadata streams back for the special effects guys. We had one on a Steadicam with no cables going to it, roaming the set free. So that's one of the solutions. That, you know, to me the cool part was it was wireless. There were no cables. So, you know, one of the biggest problems with moving a 3D camera is on cabling. You know, sometimes a bundle of 20 cables coming out of these things and recabling when you move it. This was a totally wireless, free roaming, free range rig that, you know, was light enough to put on a Steadicam. We actually shot the Patriots a couple weeks ago in the final preseason against the Giants. And we broadcast it live over Fios Network. And we had 2 handhelds working on that game. So there's two guys with 3D rigs on their shoulders being controlled from the truck, which had to be a good quarter mile away out in the parking lot. Completely controlled, perfect 3D images on somebody's shoulder. So yeah, the bigger rigs do get in the way. So what we did was distill down the same functionality of the big cameras into a very small unit.